It's me, Cobra Dakota, and it is Thursday, Throwback Thursday. So, what happens on Throwback Thursday now, as we've learned? It's time for a retro review. Reviewing an album that's a little bit of a throwback, and you know how it goes now, I guess. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite albums of all time, BBMak's debut album, Sooner or Later. BBMak is a three-piece pop trio from Northern England, comprised of Christian Burns, Mark Berry, and Stu McNally. BBMak kind of got overlooked and just dismissed because at the time that they came out, the oversaturation of boy bands was getting a little bit sickening to not only the music industry and the peers, but also the listening audience as well. So these three young men came along, making actually pop music that had a huge adult contemporary and pop rock feel to it. And I think they were just kind of swept under the rug and dismissed because, oh, we have three young guys here making music who are decently handsome, so they've got to be a boy band. Let's not pay too much attention to them. Although they did manage to, get a few singles, have a little bit of success, also be featured in several soundtracks such as On the Line and that movie Treasure Planet, if anyone remembers that. They were signed to Hollywood Records, and unfortunately we only got 2 albums out of them before they became defunct. One thing that set BBMak apart from other pop rock groups and kind of teeny bopper music at that time was that they were playing their own instruments for the most part. Stu and Christian both playing 6-string guitars, and also writing their own songs. And it gave them more of a singer-songwriter feel. There's some up-tempo, nice love songs on here that have more of the airplay-ready sound, such as the opening track Back Here, and the following track I'm Not in Love, and then the following track Next Time. So the first 3 tracks give the album a little more upbeat energy. There's also a song that was penned by Robin Thicke, one of Robin Thicke's earlier songs, I Can Tell, which is hands down the best song on the album. This nice little shuffly love song that has a little bit of R&B influenced thanks to Robin's help, I assume. And so the two form, the two forces collaborating on the song just give us a very nice and a little bit sexy love ballad. There are also some down-tempo ballads. One of the singles, The Ghost of You and Me, which has a little bit of a Celtic feel, some nice harmonizing pick strings on this thing. Also, the closing track, Again, which is very airy, very pretty. There's some piano reverbed pads on this thing, giving it just a slight new age feel, but it's a little bit more ambient than the rest of the album. There's one little kind of interlude of a track called Always, in which it is just guitar, harmonization, Celtic flute. There are some Celtic influences on the Ghost of You and Me song, which I mentioned earlier, and surprisingly there's the sitar takes a lead with the electric guitar on the 4th song, Unpredictable. So aside from the songwriting coming from these guys, the one thing that sticks out on this album the most prominent thing, and one thing that I can't believe that didn't make these guys a bigger force than they were in the music industry, is just their harmony. They have beautiful 3-part harmony all over this thing, especially Mark Berry. Without Mark Berry, their harmony would not be near what it is, just because of his gliding and just captivating falsetto. He has such a delicate yet prominent falsetto voice that just it rings out, and it's just so swirling, and you get lost in it so easily. It's definitely, I think, one of the most gorgeous features on this whole LP. And another problem a lot of artists at this time, especially in mainstream pop, had was, and even still to this day, when a pop album is made, a lot of the songs tend to just sound so much alike because it's very formulaic, and they don't have that much of a range. But BBMak was actually really matured, especially for being such a young artist, and not every song on this album sounds the same. There are some key traits that the band has in each of these things, with the dissonant guitar chords, and as I mentioned, beautiful harmonies, absolutely outstanding, and very sweet. And pleasant to listen to, but not every song is the same. I think BBMak was a little bit ahead of their time. They have kind of this Howie Day, sound with the guitars, but at the same time the vocals are a lot more pleasant than just like a regular boy band or just a regular singer-songwriter. They're so much sweeter, and they don't need effects thrown all over them like a lot of the pop artists we listen to now. And you know, there's a little bit of an Ed Sheeran. I wouldn't be surprised if Ed Sheeran actually drew from BBMak as one of his dominant influences. And I think had BBMak come along more so like around today or within the past couple years, I think they would be just absolutely huge, way bigger than they ever were back from 2000 to 2002. But this is, as far as a you know, a debut album for pop music, I don't think you can get much better or, you know, much more heartfelt than this album right here. As you know, it's amazing for a debut album to have so much contribution to songwriting from the artists themselves. And there is a reason why this album does not ever leave my car, why I always have it on hand at some point. I recommend anyone, if you like singer-songwriter music, if you like pop music, if you like adult contemporary, go out and find this thing. You can get it, you know, at almost any half-price books. I've seen it at every half-price books, and it's usually around $1 to $2. So it's definitely worth the investment, and this album walks away with a 4 out of 5 for me, and that is the retro review of the day. Anything else you want reviewed that is nostalgic, that's retro, an old album, let me know. I will do my best to listen to it. There's a new James Taylor review up on the channel. Also try to keep an eye out for Bruce Wayne's new music video, Cross the Line, which will be dropping Friday, June 19th, which I believe is tomorrow. So yeah, anyway, you guys have a good one.